just have a revision class and in which you can ask me questions. First, I will answer some of the questions that were already asked in the group. And then if you need, if you want to ask more questions, you can do that. And then the clarifications. So there's this one thing that I had said from the beginning of the course, that was the usage of the word hengi, and what does it mean, and how what was the actual meaning behind usage of that word in the group. Very wonderful word, actually, but it has a certain type of twist to it, which makes it even more wonderful than the actual meaning of each individual word, each individual word of the word hengi. But before that, I'll start by answering the questions which were asked in the group. And then if you have even more questions, make sure that you just ask me and I'll answer that too. So, let me begin from the first question. Okay, so the first question was by Petunia. So, could you confirm or correct, please, the different ways to? I have questions. Honorific, getting to shugyuin, shugyudu, shutigyuyu. So, yes, the future tense is rather with the usage of the word gyu. The indicator of future tense has more to do with the usage of the word gyu instead of the word hin or yu. It's more to do with this usage. And this is a word companion. And when you use this particular word, what happens is that the statement becomes, if it is accompanying a verb, for example, tigyuyu, lagyuyu, cheguyu. So, so for example, if we write this as chuashi tigyuyu. The thing that makes it the future tense is has nothing to do mostly with the year. And duk in certain usage, for example, like the usage in the future tense, you'll see can be used in a certain way that it both of them can be used with the first person. But in the present time, anytime when we say present time, we make sure that it is used with the first person when we say you. So, and the here the particular word that makes it a future tense is the word companion, and the word companion here is ragatagayatagashvikyu. So let me just bring out a presentation page. I think it's much better because yes, and then where okay, let me share this so that you can see it better here. So so this particular word, that is the word companion that makes it a future tense. So whenever it's a statement of future tense, by default, it is a statement belonging to other, not to self. So present tense to self, past and future to other. So this rule we will study in the gender sign. So remember that many of things I state when I try to explain, I say it's for the next class, and there is a very good reason, because this particular thing that we're learning, there are so many things that we have to learn to make sure that we have understood the entire course. And the very important indication that we have understood it in this way is being able to speak it in that manner, to recognize any text we read and understand that, oh, this is in this manner, this is in that manner, to have a certain type of mastery in this course. So therefore, that is the reason many of things that I say I will introduce later has a certain type of meaning in it, meaning that those are said to be taught in next lessons, because it makes it much more efficient while learning a particular course. So this is the reason why. So therefore, make sure that the duration that you have now, you just spend on the things that we have already studied and master those. And if you have questions regarding them, if you go and use those and you have certain type of confusion, you make sure you ask the questions and we clarify it. So therefore, things like this, like for example, the one I said, like the present tense is self and object of self, and past tense and future is the object of other. These will come eventually in different texts. It's a subject of different texts. So no need to rush to understand those things right now. But in any case, Q is the word particle that indicates something is in the future tense, something that is happening in the future tense. So more like in English, we have the word will. This is not a word that translates to will, but the thing is that in the entire context, it helps transforming a particular verb into future tense. In Tibetan, we know that a verb to be recognized as a future tense, you have, according to the grammar, you have the spelling. And according to the particle, you have this particle that comes with that particular verb. So that is when we use Q and make it a future tense. And then we can say Chigu Shuguyin, which means I will be asking, Shigudu, which means that I have something to ask. So here it is not a verb. Duk is not a verb. Neither a it's showing a possession, saying that I have something that I need to ask. Chiguyu, T is not honorific. Shu is honorific. T is not honorific, and Yu it's possessing. So Duk and Yu used interchangeably here for possession, which we can do. So yes, Tiguyus, Tuashiyus or Tiguyus, same. So if we confirm, so could you confirm or correct, please, for third person and present, we have choice between to show position Yu or only for inanimate things, confirmation. Explain, we use Yu. He is with me at the current. So when we are using it as the third person, it's a third person that's near us. So we, what we do is we use the context that the third person belongs in the vicinity around us. So in that case, we're using Yu. We can say Kong de Menkang to do. Kong de la Yu, Menkang Kong de la Yu. D, like we already discussed in previous classes, D can be used to indicate things which are near the narrator. So something that's near the narrator. Kong diru yu. Diru yu. He is here. Kong diru yu. Kong diru yu. If you want to say he's, he, she, they are near us, we say diru yu. If you want to say he, she, they are here, diru du. meaning that we know that they are here in this vicinity, whichever area or vicinity we may talk about. So first, D talks about here, near the person who is talking, in this case. This talks about here in a particular area where the narrator is, but doesn't mean that the person whom we're talking about is near us. So in that area, in that general area. For example, if I'm in a hospital, there could be two cases. First case, someone that you're asking for is here in front of me. Here, that at that time, we could say "Deru." But if we want to say a particular person, here in the hospital, currently not near me, but in the hospital, "Deru." So a observation, but not near. So, and not presently observing that person to be here. So someone that we know is here, that we have observed that they are here in a particular time in the past. It could be 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, or it could be currently, but not near us. We can observe that person. Meaning, okay, let me write the sentence. So he is currently here. I can see him or her. So currently observing, but not near me. He or she is here right now. He or she is with me. So you see the difference. So one talks about one talks about being present here. One talks about being present near me, near the narrator. So duk and yu in that particular usage. So when I said kong men kang to yu, means that that person is at the hospital, that person is near me. So since it's near, we already discussed in one of the lesson of di and te, we said that da la di da, shen la te. For self, di. This, for others, te. Nye wala di da, ta ring wala te. For near, di. For far away, te. So something that's near us becomes an object of self. Something that is away from us becomes an object of others. So te, la du, diru, yu. So in that context, I use yu. Not because yu is used with the third person, but in the context that because of the vicinity, it comes under the comes under the understanding of an object of self. Though the particular object, kong, or the subject, sorry, is a third person, but the entire sentence comes under the understanding of self. So therefore, yu. So therefore, I hope this clarified this usage of yu. Your assumption, no direct experience. Yes, no certain certitude from the speaker. Yes, like we said, kong diru yure. Diru yure. Kong da. Kong chobo re. So kong diru yure, kong chobo re. So or re te. So meaning that this is a reason that person, he or she is here. because he or she, both of them are good friends, or both of them are friends. So that is why probably I assume that he is here. Did I see him or her here? No. But am I assuming that he or she is here? Yes. But is my assumption baseless? No. My assumption is not baseless. It's based on very good it's based on very good reasoning, that a very good probable cause for something to be. So therefore, it's not a baseless assumption, but it's not something that I have made certain. So therefore, assumption, when we say yure, he or she is at the hospital because he or she works at the hospital. Do I know that he or she is at the hospital at this very moment? No. But do I have, am I making an assumption? Yes. But is my assumption baseless? No. Why? Because I'm basing that assumption on a very good reasoning or cause. So therefore, particular assumption based on a good cause, probable cause. So probably there. So assumption. It's not a confirmational statement. It's an assumption statement. Not this one. I'm not talking about this one. This is confirmational because both of them are friend, and we know that it's a confirmational. But this is an assumption. Whenever we use this, and it's a very common thing in Tibetan conversation. Many a times we make assumptions. We don't know a particular time, particular situation that something is 100% that, but we make assumption based on the most probable causes. So therefore, assumption statement. Duk confirmation, when the speaker has a personal, yes, duk is something that we state when we have a confirmation. So personal experience, etc. But with confirmation. So duk and words such as duk, yin is to be, re is to be. Duk and yu both are confirmational particles, so confirmational statement. So whenever you see yu or duk, it's a confirmation statement. It's not if or assumption statement. They are there because I assume they are there because of this. No, that is yure. So progressive term. So when an infinitive verb, so progressive term follows a conjugate verb, what is the form of the infinitive? So for example, crane are going to fly to the put. So whenever the infinitive becomes the main verb. So and therefore the other one is just a verb that is a companion in this case. So purtundro. So pur will be in the progressive term. Do will be in the present tense. So there's no change in the spelling there because the focus is not on do. The focus is on pur, which is to fly. So crane are going to fly to north. So in that case, going will be present tense. And yin showing a continuous form. And put is a particular, it's a present. If it's present, then it's a present perfect form. So something that happened yesterday will happen today and will happen to a indefinite time. So something that happened last year will happen this year, will happen next year, till an indefinite time until it stops happening. So if you're using word like pur and do, do will be continuous present. It won't change from that. The main focus will be pur. So let me just write this. Nam Shang tu Purpukin tu Broken Broin. So yeah, the main focus is on pur. So the main focus will be on pur rather than the word that is do. So do will be present. It will be pur. So yes. So we see the focus is mainly on the pur. So future tense. This will be present, and then this shows the continuous form, the present continuous form. So therefore, focus only on the main verb, not on the companion verb. Can we write 강요 조, 강요를 조, or 강요를 조? So always use the 뇨와 조, not 뇨와, but 뇨를, 강요를 조, or 뇨와 조, 강요를 조, or 강요와 조. So this is possible. Always use the particles. 칼라소월 콤사마레. So yes, you can use 칼라소루. You don't have to use 칼라소월. So that's possible. So you can write both. You can write 칼라소월, or you can write 칼라소루. So both of these are fine. 도공, it is written 리테 둔두 도공, 도공투 니토. So you can say 도공 니토 or 도공투 니토. Both are correct. Here, so clarification here, we don't. So we can say 도공 니토, 도공투 니토. So both of these are correct. The reason why I didn't use this is because it already, the sentence already contains few particles already, and this is a type of 도공투니 and 도공이 are the type of a portion of a sentence where it's not necessary. When I say necessary, it's not compulsory to use this. You can skip it to make the sentence shorter, so that the sentence won't be too wordy. What is the function of na in the sentence? And what is the most literal translation of the sentence? Okay, here na is more or less if. It's a case of desiring. So here, na is used like a desiring. If Tenzin would lend me that book. This is the most literal translation. If Tenzin would lend me that book. So if na is used here as if. Okay, so 땡두 미남 쉬라 제십 책은 유바 니 하자 야고시 인념. So these days people are analyzing the grammar, which I think is very good. So Sonyam is I think. So I think so. Here we just add if with I think. I think if Tantan what? So nyam is more or less I think. Could you confirm or correct these different usages, please, Lasso? So Lasso is also more casual, but with respect, honor effect. It's not very casual. It's more honorific. Lao is also honor. Lare is I agree. Lame is I disagree. And no also. And Lexo is perfect, excellent. Okay, so this doesn't need any clarification. Past tense, third person. I have learned before that the difference between song and pare. Che pare, che song for passive. No relation for subject like sleeping. So this, which is the word that is song and pare, are two very interesting words. In written form, we mostly use song. We don't use pare. But yes, in more cases we use chesson, drosson, lesson. So not a passive verb. It's a verb that is active but done by the second or third person. Mostly third person, done by third person, chesson. If by second person or first person, chein, chere. So active and passive, not in verse, but verb, but active and passive as voice. So active and passive voice. Is there a difference between nga tep, nga det hajuin, nga det haju? No, both of these are same. It's just different writings. That's it. We talked about white food. Okay, so normally we have only two type of food when we say that. We have karse, which means the so it has two meanings here. Normally we have something called karse. Which means that those who are consuming vegetarian food is called karse. And then we have marse, which means non-vegetarian food. But here, when we say karsung narsung, it doesn't mean the vegetarian. It means 3 white and 3 sweet. So when we talk about the white, we talk about the curd, we talk about the milk, and then we talk about the tsampa. So 3 white and 3 sweet will be honey, sugar, and jaggery. So 3 sweet and 3 white. So this is the 3 here, but this is not the karse, which means vegetarian, and marse, which means non-vegetarian. No black food. There's no black food. There's only vegetarian, non-vegetarian, 3 white because of the color, and 3 sweet because of the taste. So that is it. Other than that, if it is something that has to do with medical term, then please, I think it will be better if you would either read it or ask someone in the field of medicine, like the Soarikwa. You can ask someone who is studying Soarikwa, and from their study that they study the 4 guishi in the medical field, in which they have pretty much many classifications of a lot of things. So you will actually be able to understand it better. Also about the different taste, we have in total, I think total we have 108 different tastes. So all of this you'll probably find in the 4 gu. So this is the question by Patinula. Let me answer the second question. Let me go down. That's also Sweta last question. Basic conversation class, lesson 19. Okay, context 19 about necessary components. Action object quote. Some cases in the statement will not be subject as a primary subject, but inferentially as a second. So Inferential may or may not be secondary subject. Sometimes inferential, primary subject, but inferential, meaning that it can be understood from a previous statement, not the particular statement, but from the previous statement. So therefore, inferential in that case. But definitely, in some cases, it could be inferential and secondary in some cases. So inferential or directly stated, these are the two classifications. Other than that, primary and secondary will depend on the context. Sometimes the inferential is primary, sometimes the inferential is a secondary. For example, if we are talking about tashi, and then if we suddenly said that this thing was done wonderfully, and so this was achieved wonderfully, or we can say like we are talking about tashi, and then longba yongla pento che. So benefit the entire, and so we say that longba yongla pento che, meaning benefit the entire country. So in this case, the one benefiting is the tashi, not directly stated here, inferential from previous statements, but still the primary, right? And then sometimes pento champo chung. So it was a great benefit. So here, both the primary and the secondary subject, the object, not the secondary. So primary and the secondary object, the object are both not written here. So sometimes both can be inferential too. Only the verb or the effect is written, like pento chempochung. It was a great help. But we don't know that to whom it was a great help to. It is inferential. We don't know who was the one that did the benefit to all. So pento chempochung. So yes, in that case, necessary component, because no statement will make any sense without them. We know that it's inferential, but we know that it exists, right? It's not written here, but it exists. It is inferential. So therefore necessary component, but not necessarily written in a sentence, could be inferential. So some case in the statement will not be subject as primary subject, but inferential as a secondary subject. So this question that is asked. So let me think about a secondary subject. Yeah. Lapu mambuche means cut a lot of radish. So one that's cutting the radish is the so for example, it could be something that we were referring like a cleaver or a knife. And then we're talking about the great qualities of the knife, and then we're saying like, oh, I also bought this knife. Lapu mambuche yin. So cut a lot of radish with it, or not it as inferential here, but referring to the secondary subject, because it's a cleaver or a knife. So knife and cleaver is a tool which is used by the person. So secondary as subject, but still inferential in this case. So at page 2 of the PDF, mention 2 types of conformational verb. In the verb not mentioned. First type of statement with hin, to be. Okay, so about the hin and re is to be verb. He is a boy. He is a boy. For example, we are making a to be verb. This is my fatherland. They are my he is, she is my friend. So yin to be verb. Similarly, no she. Yeah, what it is a good weather. So you see, these are to be verb, whereas you and duk is a conformational. Few usage, but one of them for you and duk is conformational. So so these are conformational particle. So let me just bring it out here. So I hope everyone is able to see this. No, I want the definition. Okay, so I hope everyone is able to see this. Or let me try to get, let me try to copy this. Am I able to copy this? I don't know if I'm able to copy this. So yes, I was able to copy this. So so to have or to possess, to be there, to be there, and any touch of it. Okay, to be conformational, also used with the past verb to be conformational. So 이기티유 means I have written a letter. So if used with the particle, continuous particle, then it could be continuous present. But for example, in this type of situation, if it's used with the past verb, it is a conformational statement. But still, let me see. I have a second definition for this, which is more elaborate. This is not very elaborate. I don't know why. So let me see if I write the other one, if it becomes. So does it say So this doesn't have enough information. So you is a which is like word companion. So so it's a word companion. So it's a companion of a word, a verb, sorry, a word or a verb. So it's a conformational word. So if I haven't sent it in the group, I will make sure that I find a better definition and send it in the group. If I have done, then please confirm it to me. Just tell me that I have sent it, so that I would know that I have sent it. Otherwise, I will send it. That is, if I haven't sent it in the group. And if it's sent, it's sent in this group, this particular Tibetan Basic Conversation group that we have. Okay, now question by Yurila, Basic Conversation class. Question related lesson ko. So ko jak, that is ko jak, Yurila. It's not just ko, it's ko jak. The one that you're referring to in the dictionary, it's ko jak. So normally for I, we use ko jak. And if you look at the messages that I write, sometimes I also use this ko jak. Ko jak is I, but just used without jak, it is you. So Kojak. Okay, so ko means yes. So in context of Kojak, no, if we say Kojak, then it is I. And there are some messages that I've sent in the group in which when I have referred to I or myself, I have written as Kojak or Ngecha or Ngacha. All of this is same. Kojak. Ngecha or Ngacha. All of these are same. So this is the questions that was asked. So does anyone have more questions? If you have more questions, then I will receive more questions and clarify them. So this class is to clarify some of the doubts. Other than that, the thing is that you can prepare yourself for the exams, which I'll send the link, and then certain rules and regulations and clarifications about the about how to go about the exams. So before that, let me ask you this. I'll ask this here also in the group. Is it like if you want me to clarify the how to answer in the during the exams, does anyone have any sort of doubts regarding answering in Google form? If so, please tell me, and then if it is possible, we'll try to provide a mock test. I'll just upload a mock test, and then you can just try answering that. Most of the things are quite the same, that very much same to whatever you were used to during the test in the Nalanda. But even though if there's some type of like doubts, or if you feel like it would be better if I sent like one mock test before the real test just to try out the system, then tell me, and then we can work through this and create a mock test. Other than that, does anyone have more questions regarding lesson 1, lesson 10 to 20? Or is it 19? So lesson 10 to 19. Does anyone have questions? So no questions regarding lessons. So I've answered the questions, and you have like time till the 18th. So when it will be 18th, I will send the link. The moment I send the link and the announcement for the exams in the group, from that moment, I will not be answering any questions for 1 month regarding basic conversation class. Definitely, if you have questions regarding the grammar, you can ask me, but a basic conversation class, I will not be answering anything for 1 month from that point onwards. So does anyone have questions? If not, then it would be wonderful if someone would just read the last portion of the memorization text. And then I'll also clarify the meaning of the word henke that I have been asking you to use again and again in the group. So no questions? Okay, so does anyone wants to read from the text that was sent for memorization? Does anyone wants to read? So does anyone wants to read? You can read any of the portion, the first or second or anything. So just for a sign of auspiciousness. So if you can read, then you can read any of the portion. The first one that I sent, which is Karakushu, or the last one that I sent, Tolangao. Whichever portion that you want to read, you can read. So will you be able to read it, Yurila? The portion of the, yes, please. Thank you. That's so.
Ramatang gobo jetsun japerian raja zero om arapatanadi. Kara kushu shasetan kawako wa kangyain. Korua koruta korusetan sata korua sakurui. Gyarwe ni sakura kumata ni rakui. Kucho jepa kukyanda kupata ni rakui. Tashita ni patara goeta ni satain. Kawa kara katora kachi kame kangyain. Kare kangeru takatan kameru karo akao. Yurue kani rakatan keki kara sakain. Lamso kafa pakara roi kani sakain. Naso chukan pakanta kandak shikan rakan go. So, turaga, and pronunciation not good in this portion.
No problem. Please try.
So, okay. Tura ngawa sangara, tura ngawa magain, doe gani langara, tanki gani lagain, kome gapa, mangatan, kotse patan gapana, sanga impe sheparcha.
So that's all. So thank you very much. So very wonderfully read. And if you continue, you will be able to memorize everything. So thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Yurila. So now the clarification about the term that I have been telling you to use. So the term was lenke, right? So it's a wonderful term. I mean, I don't know how many people use it in that context, but it's a very good term. So lenke. Ten means union, just like yoga. Ke means arising. So arising union. So I hope everyone is able to see. So ke means arising. So one who has arised the union. Union of what? Union of bodhicitta and wisdom pertaining emptiness. So this is something that is a personal perspective. So it has nothing to do with the one that is being referred to this as. So it is something that has to do with me. So the one who has arisen, bodhicitta and emptiness. So lenke is another term for Buddha. So since for all female and male Buddha. So lenke. So the reason I ask you to use this term is that while using it in the group, what you're doing is you're referring to every one of the classmates as Buddha and deity. It's an aspiration thing. You aspire everyone as being this, so that there would not be any envy, there would be no competition, there would be no jealousy between everyone. So therefore, to see everyone as the most perfect way without seeing fault in anyone. That is the reason why I asked everyone to use this word. The twist is mine and mine alone, and it needs a rather explanation to understand this as this term. So very beautiful term. Te means union, ke means arising. arising union of wisdom pertaining emptiness and bodhicitta. That is, the one who has already arisen that union. So Buddha. So as an aspiration and auspiciousness, I have been, every time I have been sending the announcement, I have been addressing every one of you students as Buddha without any other way of thinking about all of you. So that is the way I wrote it. So that is the reason why I asked every one of you to use it. It's a very good way of looking at each other. I mean, you may argue that, oh, at this very point and moment, how could I think of myself as Buddha? But it's more like aspiring. And when you use that same term to others, then everything is aspired. Like if you start addressing everyone as this, then you only see the most wonderful qualities in others. Definitely in reality, you also see the faults, but still, it's a very good way of looking at everyone with their most greatest potential and ability. And then if you are able to look at everyone through this type of vision, then you're able to convert the very existence into the pure land. There is no need to go to a pure land. You just exist, and then you work hard to be not first just to say this, then to actually think about this way, then to meditate on this thing, and then finally to be able to actually see it in that way. So in any case, that's the reason why I have asked every one of you to use the word henke to refer to everyone. Though the spelling was different in Tibetan, this is my twist. So when you say everyone, instead of saying henke, which just says everyone, just you can use the word henke. And then in that way, you will not only addressing to everyone, you're addressing to everyone as Buddha. That's just a vision, something that I thought would be wonderful if I introduced. But in any case, it's a personal choice to continue using it or not. Anyway, so we're done with the final class for the year 2022. Very wonderfully done. Thank you very much to everyone who have participated till this point. And then I also pray and aspire that we would be able to continue this to the year 2023. And that may all the obstacles that surrounds in making this course to not exist be nullified, and that we will be able to continue more with the lessons, being able to teach and to learn. And then hopefully, as you continue with this course, you'll be able to really, the main objective whatsoever for the basic conversation class is make sure that you can speak. So you have to speak. If you don't have anyone else to speak Tibetan with, then you can just speak with me. Send me voice messages. I'll send you voice messages in Tibetan. So this is something we can do, definitely. So in any case, practice whatever you have learned in this class for the past 2 months or so. And then make sure that this time everyone is able to at last speak a very good amount of Tibetan, both in the daily life as well as also being able to use those karma terms. And the best way is to use it with someone who knows Tibetan. And I'm always available if you want to speak. This I always say, that for learning and teaching, I'm always available. Sometimes not answering immediately for some reason, but other than that, most of the time, I make sure that I answer questions. And sometimes I forget if I have answered the questions previously. If I have done, then I'll just say, please check that I have done it earlier. If I've not done that, then you can ask me to answer it again, and I will answer once again. So therefore, understand that for me to repeat and to answer again is not a problem at all. I will do that as many times as you require me to do. That is not a problem. But please practice whatever you have learned, speak with others. And then if you want to practice it with me, then speak to me. Just send me voice messages every day. I'll send you voice messages back if you are able to do that. And then please memorize and send me the voice recording. And then I will send you the feedback, sometimes delay. For example, now from 18th, I will be traveling to Bodh Gaya. And so when I will be traveling for Bodh Gaya, I won't be able to answer when I'm in the train. Because of the bad reception in the train, I won't be able to answer. In those cases, please have patience with me. Other than that, I will try to answer. And then when I'm during the teaching, I won't be able to answer. And if I'm not able to answer in 1 or 2 days, make sure, please understand that I will answer. It's because I was not able to answer at that time due to some circumstances. Every one of your questions are very wonderful to me, very precious to me. So I will make sure that I answer those things. Okay, so thank you very much for joining in today. And thank you very much for continuing for the year 2022. I aspire and pray that every one of you will join me back in the month of January for so I'll also send an announcement for that, for our Dharma vocabulary class. And then let's see. After that, we will have to go through with reading again. It will be intermediate reading class. So I will announce accordingly, and then we'll continue all the lessons in 2023. And then we'll see when to give break, because breaks are also important. We'll see when to give breaks and then when to continue. And then I hope that as we continue, all of you will benefit as much as I'm benefiting from teaching every one of you. So thank you very much for joining in, and most auspiciously completed the year 2022 with no obstacles and with great aspiration and blessings from every one of you and the Guru. So thank you, and I will see I will see you all most probably in January 11th, 2023. And to all of you, have a wonderful holiday. So Christmas is almost coming, so have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful holiday to every one of you. I hope that all of you have a wonderful holiday, and then you'll rest well to continue in year 2023. May the coming year bring you much practice of Dharma, much realization, and bring you closer to the ultimate achievement, that is the attainment of complete enlightenment. So thank you very much, and Tashi Dele to everyone.